From those from the province of Cebu, can I see your hands? Please raise your hands. From Siquijor, from Leyte, Samar, provinces in Mindanao, provinces in Luzon. Again, I'm Oliver Amoroso and have something to admit. I am a Promdi. Promdis are everywhere. We are everywhere. Some of you perhaps are dreaming of exploring bigger cities, finding your place in the sun. Well, we should have a long list of individuals who have turned from Promdi to Lodi with their exploits in the worlds they've chosen for themselves. From the fields of science, business, education, government service, to culture and the arts, these brilliant and cool individuals make us wear our provincial roots with pride. There's the founder, chairman, and CEO of Jollibee Foods Corporation, Tony Tan Cactiong, who's from Davao del Sur, Kenneth Cobonpue, furniture designer from Cebu, whose works have found their way to Hollywood homes, Josette Bio, internationally awarded science teacher from Iloilo, who has a minor planet named after her. The high schooler, Hilary Andales from Palo, Leyte, who won last year 20 million pesos worth of prizes for winning a global science contest. The Visayan top-notchers in law, medicine, engineering, and education. And in politics and government, of course, we have the first ever Mindanaoan president from Davao. The list goes on. The origin of the term Promdi isn't something you'd take pride in, though. Michael Tan, in his 2006 Inquirer column, said that Promdi was coined around the 80s to mean Promdi province. So yan palang meaning ng Promdi. Capturing the condescending attitudes of city slickers towards rural areas. He said this came from a mindset that if you remain in the probinsya, ergo you're not good enough for the big city. Much of the academic research we've found about it say the same thing. From a 1993 study by a certain R. David Zork to a 1999 research by Miriam College students, the term was used to describe anyone who is a hillbilly, crude, crass, and cheap. This meaning seems to persist in this digital age. Looking it up on the urbandictionary.com, it said that if you want to insult someone, call him Promdi. I just want to share this with you. I was born in Imperial Manila, but grew up in the province. Before the 1986 EDSA People Power Revolution, the entire family moved to Bukidnon, where my parents, Dr. Vic Amoroso, and the late Dr. Cecil Amoroso became professors at Central Mindanao University. Studying for a year at a laboratory elementary school run by university and making new friends taught me to speak in Bisaya. So madalas, akala ng mga tao, I don't speak the local language, but I speak. I remember the yard next to our cottage inside the university became a favorite spot for outdoor games for my brothers, friends, neighbors who came to play with us after school. Hindi ko lang alam, but who among you alam yung game na Japanese game or agawang base? Yung luksong baka, pitik bulag, tago-tago, tumbang preso, or bato lata, sipa, at syempre ito, sino hindi nakapaglaro ng Chinese garter? My siblings and I consider our childhood years in Bukidnon as some of the best times of our lives. However, as they say, all good things come to an end. Just after the EDSA People Power Revolution, my mother was accepted for a scholarship to pursue her PhD in UP Diliman, brought me and my younger siblings back to Manila, where I continued my primary education at Diliman Preparatory School. While in school, to boost my confidence, kasi nga, Promdi, my mother had me join the Dramatics Guild. Its programs include all aspects of theater and drama, including writing and technical design. My mother was very happy when I told her one day that I auditioned for 3 of its plays. My first stint was one of the assistants of Commander William Harbison in Rogers and Hammerstein's South Pacific in 1989. I then landed the role of Sinapati in the play Bidasari in 1990 and Wangta in the Flower Drum Song in 1991. It became my introduction to the arts, theater, and eventually production. Though life in the capital city of Manila was exciting in the late 80s and 90s, especially it was a time when Filipino pride and self-respect were restored after the EDSA revolution, and lifestyle malls mushroomed all over Metro Manila. No, but my siblings and I still missed the provincial life. After my mother earned her PhD degree, at the same time, I finished my elementary in Manila. The family returned to Bukidnon to rejoin our father in the university. High school at CMU Science High School was where I was further immersed in the provincial life. My dad, who is a biologist, bought a farmland in Valencia. Summers of 1991 to 96 were spent on the farm where we learned how to ride horses, carabaos, milk cows, and of course, grow our love for nature. When public transport was hard to come by, there was the habal-habal. Di ko lang alam if everyone is able to experience riding this. My brothers and I call that the Skylab, since it resembles the Skylab space station that orbited the Earth before. Again, food is another story. I remember first eating the puso, which I'm sure everyone here is familiar with. To this day, I enjoy eating it with grilled barbecue or tocino whenever I'm in Cebu, Bukidnon, or Dumaguete. In my junior year, in 1995, an English teacher pushed me to start writing a journal. I realized writing doesn't have to be a hassle. It can be a good outlet to create, experiment, and document everyday life in the province. Living in a very scenic town in Bukidnon gave me a place conducive, practicing writing techniques, fleshing out ideas, as well as keeping a record of times I never want to forget or things I need to remember. It also prepared me for the responsibility of being EIC, or Editor-in-Chief, the high school paper in 96 and the yearbook in 97. When I was 16, a year before graduating in high school, the Philippine Daily Inquirer, under its Young Blood column, published my article about a beggar and her daughter who I met on a bus ride to Bukidnon. They had given all their earnings to another beggar who they saw needed the money more than them. That encounter, the reason why I'm sharing that to you, that encounter changed my perspective on life and the people in the province. As a student journalist in 96 to 97, I was blessed to be given the space to write about, record, and reflect my rural life experiences more. High school life opened my eyes to the reality that there are so many Filipino families struggling to make ends meet just to send their kids at school. Despite their circumstances, my high school classmates were very diligent and intelligent. Perhaps living in the cities were brand new books and studying in the comforts of well-air-conditioned homes or houses or study areas, but students in the rural areas read hand-me-down books and write assignments through gas lamps. All this made me aware of the disparity in opportunities and the neglect of communities in the peripheries. It's a reality to this day. The Philippine Statistics Authority has named 10 areas with the highest poverty incidence per family. This include Lanao del Sur, Eastern Samar, Apayao, Maguindanao, Zamboanga del Norte, Sarangani, Cotabato, unfortunately Negros Oriental, and Northern and Western Samar. NCR, or the National Capital Region, remains the richest and has the biggest contribution of the middle class as of 2015. Still, it was not hard to notice the resilience of people in the regions, making do of what they have under tough situations. In '97, months before graduating from high school, I was given a choice by my parents to pursue my college education in a university in Manila or in Silliman University. I chose the latter. Though I've never really experienced Dumaguete, life prior to living or studying here in Silliman, the university town has always been a convenient gateway to my father's hometown, which is Bayawan City. Plus, I was always intrigued by the old Silliman Hall and the white towers with what appeared like heads, which eventually I learned to know as everyone knows it, portals. You know, the moment I stepped inside the portals, I had this feeling that I am home. I never had a hard time adjusting to college life since all of us, well, at least during my time, were all students from the province, studying in a university that celebrated its provincial setting. Sino bang hindi nakakaalam ito? White sands and the coral, the southern seas, and the palm trees tall and stately. Here, I have experienced to live on my own and be part of a multicultural environment where being a Promdi is not an issue. No one labeled another as Promdi. Life in Silliman taught me to see people and situations from multiple perspectives. After being exposed to various organizations, especially the Weekly Sillimanian, which I first became part of on my freshman year, with endorsement of a respective campus journalist, writer, editor, and now, the Palangka awardee no less. Tawagin na lang natin siyang Uncle Ian Kasukot. I was given the opportunity to hone my journalism skills in the Weekly Sillimanian. A year later, in '98, I took the editorial exam and became associate editor of the paper and editor-in-chief of Portal 2001. In Silliman, I felt there was no right or superior culture. Every person's culture is valid, and no culture is better than another. During my membership in the Kapunungan sa mga Mass Communicators, or KMC, and stint at the Silliman University Student Government, or SUSG, I never felt inferior or insecure. In fact, it gave me the confidence to interact with other people since we spoke the same language and bonded under a strong sense of shared traditions, experiences, and cultural identity. We actually validated each other. The affinity somehow helped build a stronger sense of self, ready to take on anything beyond the university's portals. Although, ito magandang story, I was accepted to a job in Manila 2 weeks after graduation. It was in my first year that I've experienced, though, itong case of pagiging Promdi. I felt inferior to those who finished their degrees in Manila universities for the first time. There were people who thought that I can't write and speak articulately because I graduated from a provincial school. Big projects were assigned to someone who spoke with an accent. When I tried to apply for a job in one of those big companies in Manila, the recruitment officer placed my CV at the bottom of 10 shortlisted candidates. When I asked his colleague, he told me that the first 9 were graduates from Manila schools, while I was from a Diliman school in the Visayas, which I corrected by saying, "Sir, hindi ho yan Diliman, it's Silliman." And then I explained to that person, it was named after its founder, Howard Silliman. He replied in aghast, "May ganyan bang school?" Since I was taught to be respectful to elders, I just said, "Sir, the next time I get back here, I will just bring a map and I'll point to you where Silliman is." And of course, you know what happened next, right? I didn't return. Who would have thought that attending schools and universities in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, or Luz-Vis-Min, and experiencing how to deal with a diverse group of people trained me for my future job as VP and head of the regional department of a leading broadcast network in the Philippines. GMA aggressively stepped up efforts to reach out to regional audiences. My provincial life indeed came in handy as I pushed for programming more attuned to stories, voices, and viewership outside of Metro Manila. I'm currently the executive in charge of production of top-rating and award-winning local news programs. These are Balitang Amianan in Luzon, Balitang Bisdak in the Visayas, and the groundbreaking local news program Mindanao-wide, One Mindanao. I just want to share this short clip on the 3 local newscasts because the producers of these programs are Promdis.
Siya si CJ Torida, napagplan ng Ilocano, solid Amianan, sandigan ng katotohanan, serbisyong totoo lamang.
Ako si Faze Centeno, tubong Dagupan City, Pangasinan, solid Amianan, sandigan ng katotohanan, serbisyong totoo lamang.
Siya ni Joan Punsoy, taga Nagilian, La Union, solid Amianan, sandigan ng katotohanan, serbisyong totoo lamang.
Solid Amianan,
Sandigan ng katotohanan,
serbisyong totoo lamang. Ako si Bobby Nalsaro, proud Bisdak.
Ako si Cecil Kibod Castro, proud Bisdak.
Ako si Alan Domingo, proud Bisdak.
Ang bugtong kasaligan,
Kasandigan ug kadangpan sa mga Bisaya.
Ako si Tec Ocampo, lumad sa balita, Tubo, Mindanao.
Ako si Sara Hilomen Velasco, gikan sa Tagum City, Tubong, Mindanao.
Ako si Rial Soroche, tubong Santa Cruz, Davao del Sur, Mindanao.
Tubo, Mindanao.
Usa ka Mindanao.
Gaserbisyo alang sa Mindanao.
I'm proud of those programs because they are produced by Promdis. They're produced by our news production team all over the Philippines. And it caters to local news. Local news is very important. I believe in the future is in the regions. The center has to make a space or look to those from the off-center. Why do you think diversity is such a big word nowadays? There's a need now for more than ever to be very passionate in engaging Filipinos, especially those in the province, to be active participants for the development of regional and provincial communities. I'm currently involved in several projects that campaign for support, especially from the youth, in encouraging policy makers and businesses to commit to sustainable development policies and approaches, and engage the locals in promoting heritage and cultural awareness, gender empowerment, and environmental conservation, and as vital tools to build stronger and more resilient communities. My team and I led several private-public partnerships and community projects, one of which was the Kapuso Adapt Abangka. Together with the partners and donors, the project provided long-term and holistic recovery efforts through livelihood opportunities and education for the fishermen and local communities devastated by Super Typhoon Yolanda in 2013. At the end of the project, we're very happy with it because we're able to give out 340 bangkas with fishing implements to the communities in Bantayan Island. Again, as they say, you can take the boy out of the country, but never the country out of the boy. My journey from Promdi to the so-called big city may be or may not be your journey, but be true to yourself, your roots, your values. Wherever you are, your experiences shape who you are, your personhood. Promdis are crystal clear with their priorities. We arrange it in a specific order: faith, family, country, and community. If you find yourself confronted with derogatory labels, they will stay and hurt you, but only if you allow them. Misconceptions are misconceptions because you don't have to live up to them. But one thing I learned about being Promdi is that we are determined to succeed despite circumstances we are facing. We continue to educate ourselves and seek higher learning. Promdis are globally competitive and seize opportunities. We don't stop and rest on our laurels. So the next time someone asks you, where are you from? You know now what to say. I am Promdi, Sillimanyan, and proud. On a happy note, I've fallen in love with a fellow Promdi, but that's another TEDx story to share. Good afternoon.